look into the rise of regional parties and regional movements. You know that in first, second, and third general elections, Congress have secured more than 70 percentage of the seats. You have seen the pie charts given in the earlier page. Near about 364 seats in first general election and 361 seats in 1962, that is the third general elections they have secured. And here the fourth general election held in 1967, it was different. It was a landmark in the elections of Indian history. 1967 elections have become very important in the history of elections of India. By 1967 elections, there many of the political parties agreed that in elections there would be gainers and also losers in the process of economic development. And here 1967 elections have brought a political competition among different political parties. In 1967 elections, Congress have come to power with the least majority. It returned to the power with lowest majority since independence. That is, with 284 seats, Congress have come to power. That is the least majority. Every time Congress had secured more than 70 percentage of seats, it is around 300 above. We have seen 364 in first general elections, and by third general elections 361. That is more than 70 percentage, right? But in these elections of 1967, Congress had come to power with least majority, that is 284 seats. And in many states, Congress was defeated. Congress did not come into power in many states. For example, in Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, Punjab, West Bengal, now it is West Bengal, Orissa, now it is Odisha, Madras, that is Tamil Nadu, and Kerala. In all these states, Congress was defeated in assembly elections. This was the big change we see in Indian elections. There was a big transition among the ruling parties. The party, that is Congress party, which had ruled continuously for more than 30 years, that party was now challenged by several opposition parties. See, there the Congress was defeated in many of the states by 1962, 67 general elections. And when this Congress party was defeated in many states, it did not stand for power. It accepted the decision of the people in the 1967 elections and allowed the victorious parties to form the government. So wherever the Congress was defeated in the states, there the regional parties which got a majority, they were allowed to form the government. It shows that democracy had taken strong roots in India. In India, there was a single party dominance in the first 30 years. In place of single party dominance, that is a Congress party dominance, after 1967 elections, in place of single party, multi-party system has evolved out. So the emergence of a multi-party system in Indian elections is one evidence to say that democracy is flourishing in India, right? When single party continued its rule for 30 years without opposition, it is also one kind of dictatorship where democracy not appeared. But later in 1967, we would find that Congress have come to power at national level with a least majority, that is 284 seats. And in many states, Congress was defeated. Several regional parties. What is mean by regional parties? That is state parties. They have come into power. There was a strong defeat to the Congress party in southern India from Tamil Nadu and Kerala. The main defeat to the Congress party in the states, that is from Tamil Nadu and Kerala. In Tamil Nadu, we see there the regional party, that is DMK, Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam. This is the party, state party in Tamil Nadu, secured huge majority against the Congress. So DMK party founded its rule in Tamil Nadu, because earlier to the this elections we would see that when Congress party passed Official Languages Act in 1963, against that act, that is Official Languages Act, there in Tamil Nadu, DMK party started a protest movement. So DMK party succeeded in keeping the regional language as official language for every region. So with the success of this socialist social movement against Official Languages Act, people have supported DMK in 1967 elections. So DMK came to power in Tamil Nadu. Okay. And it became a strong challenge to the Congress party. And this DMK party had connections with the film industry. Here, M.G. Ramachandran, who was a very popular hero in Tamil film industry, He was popularly called MGR. MGR was like NTR in Tamil Nadu. How NTR was a very popular actor in Telugu state Andhra Pradesh. In Tamil Nadu, MGR was very popular hero, and this MGR had close contact with DMK. So many of the people and the fans of MGR followed him and supported DMK, so that the DMK came to power, defeating the Congress. So in Tamil Nadu, DMK got majority and formed the government. Not only in Tamil Nadu, in Kerala, which is a neighboring state of Tamil Nadu, there also Congress was defeated. In West Bengal and in Odisha, also Congress was defeated. There were questions among the Congress members within the Congress party. In addition to these defeats to the Congress party also weakened internally. It means within the Congress party, there some members they jumped to other political parties. It means that there were party defections in many states of North India where Congress have returned into power with least majority. So Congress MLAs in northern states they shifted to opposition parties. That is called party defection. When one MLA of one party shifts shifts to another party, it is called party defection. Party piraimpu antam. Okay. Recently you have seen the MLAs are shifting to the other political parties. That is called party defection. So many of the Congress MLAs they defected. That means they shifted to the opposition parties. With this, Congress party become weak internally. Wherever Congress have come with least majority, there some of the Congress MLAs defected to other parties. So when MLAs defected to other parties, what would happen? Congress party, which formed the government with least majority, it has lost majority there. Once the majority goes, there won't be right to that party to be in power. So in many states in North India, we see Congress governments fell down. In place of Congress governments, by losing its majority, their coalition governments were formed, which were called Samyukt Vidayak Dals. What we call Samyukt Vidayak Dal. It is a coalition government. What is mean by coalition government? Government formed with MLAs belonging to Janasangh Party, Socialist Party, Swatantra Party, and Congress defectors who shifted from Congress Party to other political parties. So several political parties collectively formed a government in many states of North India. Those governments were called coalition governments or Samyukta Vidayak Dals. So Samyukt Vidayak Dal is a government. It is called coalition government. This is made up of with Janasangh Party, Socialist Party, Swatantra Party, and Congress defectors, along with local parties. That means MLAs belonging to local parties, Janasangh Party, Socialist Party, Swatantra Party. They united and formed the government. Such governments are called coalition governments or Samyukt Vidayak సంయుక్త విధాయక్ దళ్ గవర్నమెంట్స్. తెలుగులో అయితే సంకీర్ణ ప్రభుత్వము అంటాం. When any government does not get when any political party does not get a magic figure, that is a majority seats, then some of the political parties with mutual understanding will come forward to form the government, is called coalition government. Okay, so coalition government was set up in many of the states in North India, understand? And these new governments are important in many states as they brought a coalition government. This was the first democratic upsurge, that is a success revolt in the Indian history. It was for the first time that intermediate caste. What is mean by intermediate caste? It is middle class people who were benefited by the land reforms. After independence of India, our independent Indian government introduced several acts which abolished Jamindari system. We have seen land reforms are carried by Nehru government, under which land reforms, one is abolition of Jamindari system, second is Land Sealing Act, third is Tenancy Act. So with these acts relating to the land reforms benefited to the middle class people. So middle class people are also known as intermediate caste. So intermediate caste who were benefited by the land reforms, they entered into the politics. This is the success of the democracy. In democracy, everybody is given equal opportunity. In the first, second, and third general elections, we would have seen Congress party have formed the government, and upper caste people have formed the governments. They enjoyed what to call politics in the first era, that is 30 years in India. But by 1967, we see that the intermediate caste who were benefited by the land reforms, they entered into the politics. They gained power, political power. They gained political power and formed governments in particular states. Okay, who are those intermediate caste? Those are Jats in Haryana. Those are Jats in Haryana. Jats are intermediate caste in Haryana and Uttar Pradesh. Look at here, Jats. And Kurmis and Koris in Bihar. Lodhs in Madhya Pradesh. Yadavas in all these states, that is Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and Madhya Pradesh. Then Reddis and Kammas. These are the intermediate caste who benefited by land reforms, entered into the entered into the politics and established their power in the politics. So Reddis and Kammas, they benefited and entered into the politics in Andhra Pradesh. Then Vokaligas in Karnataka, Vellas in Tamil Nadu. All these were the intermediate castes who benefited by the land reforms. They gained political power in their states. It means these castes entered into the politics and their number in the population also high. Okay, among several caste people, we find these caste people were high and significant in a population. The best example is Vellas in Tamil Nadu, who had set up DMK party. DMK party founded here by Vellas. This is the best example to say that intermediate caste entered into the politics and turned to dominant caste in the politics. And many of coalition governments in many states, they did not run long period. In a short period, these coalition governments set in many states of North India, they collapsed because coalition governments, what we call Samyukta Vidayak Dals, are the governments formed with various political parties or MLAs relating to various political parties. So in many of North Indian states, there were Samyukta Vidayak Dal governments, right? So these Samyukta Vidayak Dal governments did not run for long period because there was defection among the MLAs from one party to another party, and also corruption was high among the MLAs. Coalition government is a government with several political parties, right? So when many political parties have come to form a coalition government, there would be differences in the opinions, right? So the difference of opinions will make these political parties which are collectively formed the government to move out of the government at any time. So that is one reason. So due to this, in many states, the Samyukta Vidayak Dal governments, in other words, coalition governments, were collapsed. They did not run for long period. They lived short-lived. They were short-lived instead because there was a defection of MLAs and some of the MLAs are corrupted one. And power is the only thing which united these political parties. Many of the political parties have come for enjoying the power. They did not want to run the government for long period. They want to enjoy the power. So only the power united these political parties. So the governments had nothing to show. So the problem is that even today we see the regional or the state parties are evaluated, that means estimated from the point of power. Many of the state parties are going to form the coalition governments. Now in GHMC elections, if any party does not get a majority, what would happen? Then TRS may go join with MIM. BJP may go on joining with another party also when there is no majority. That is a magic figure. So for the sake of power, there we see regional parties are coming to form the coalition government. So in coalition governments, if any party does not get happy, it may withdraw its support. When it withdraws support, then the majority will come down, so there won't be right to such a government to run and be in power. That is the reason. Okay, so this 30 years of a period, that is from 1947 to 1977, first 30 years, that this period has saw a renewal of regional sentiments in different parties. In Andhra Pradesh, a demand started, that is separation of Telangana from Andhra Pradesh. Telangana people wanted to separate from Andhra region, so a regional aspiration started in Andhra Pradesh. What is regional aspiration? Regional demand. Telangana was neglected, Telangana was backward. uh, then industries were set up in Telangana, uh, were belonging to Andhra people, and the lands of Telangana enjoyed by Andhra people, and what to call the funds income and from Telangana region also expended on Andhra region, right? Like these several issues are there with the Telangana people, and Telangana people wanted to separate from Andhra Pradesh. About this we'll study a separate chapter, last chapter, formation of Telangana state. So in Andhra Pradesh there was a demand for separate of Telangana. Okay, students were active in this Telangana struggle, Telangana state struggle. Okay, their Usmania University students played an important role. Okay, and their main issue for separating Telangana from Andhra, that the benefits of development not reaching to Telangana people. Similar to this movement, we find another regional aspiration started in Assam also. Where? In Assam. In Assam, there a new state called Meghalaya. This was created in 1969 December out of the tribal areas. That is Kasi. It is a tribal area. Then Jaintia and Garo. These are the what regions where tribal people lived. With these regions, Meghalaya state, a new state Meghalaya created in December 1969. Okay, in Punjab too also regional aspiration started. Okay, what to call, in 1966 Punjab, they did not have their own capital. Punjab also what led a struggle in 1966 that it did not have its own capital. Okay, because Chandigarh was the capital of Haryana and Punjab. In Maharashtra too, there a regional movement started. That Bombay is the capital city of Maharashtra, where many industries are there. In such industries, Gujarat people and Andhra Pradesh people are getting benefit. So there the local people wanted that Bombay should be only for Maharashtrians, understand? And this is the what movement started by Shiva Sena party. Which party? Shiva Sena party started this movement in Maharashtra, that Mumbai should be belonging to Maharashtrians only. Okay, their main target, that the main target of the Maharashtrians was that southern India is getting benefit. That means southern Indian people are getting benefit in employment in Mumbai. Most of the people in Mumbai are belonging to southern India.